Good evening, everyone. May everyone be doing well today. I'd like to welcome you to another reading from Trusting the God Within. We'll be reading about mental acceptance, and you may ask, what is mental acceptance? Well, let's get into our reading on the subject. We conclude that psychologists frequently remind us that we can have anything that we can accept mentally. But if we cannot accept it mentally, we cannot get it. This is no matter what we do. In other words, we find mental acceptance to be the key in our conscious awareness and in this process of utilizing our belief systems to our advantage. Let us look at this process from an intellectual perspective. When most people first learn that the power of thought is a means of attaining greater good in life, they sometimes try to rush into a demonstration that they have not mentally accepted. Their efforts meet only with defeat, and rightly so. Even when they demonstrate their desires temporarily, they cannot maintain the demonstration because they have not developed a mental acceptance of the desired good. Herein, their apparent demonstration ends in failure. Now, this can be made much simpler if we allow all that we desire, all that we can ever envision or hope to attain in this life is already provided for us. It is already available and waiting on our mental acceptance. Think about this. Most of us want to be givers. Nonetheless, we are eager to share all of the fine and lovely things of life with others. But we sometimes forget that we must take the time to realize the thought of receiving. Being a good receiver is not a complicated task, but a matter of simple and pure application. As I so often say in my classes, take time every day quietly to let go and let God give to you. Be still, sit quiet, and simply say to the loving Father, I am ready to receive, dear Father. I am ready to receive all the good you have to give to me. I am receiving now. Just a brief explanation to why some people demonstrate truth and some do not is that those who get results are those who have released the past and have accepted mentally the possibility of new good in their lives. Those who hang on to the past reject their good and reject God's help in trying to give it to them. Never do get the good they seek. It is not unusual to hear someone say, I have been studying truth for 20 or more years, but still, I cannot demonstrate health, wealth, relationship, or etc. In a few minutes with this individual, it will be clear evidence that this person will reveal an attitude showing that he is rejecting his good. In other words, he is still holding on to someone, something, or some place emotionally that he needs to release, such as health, wealth, or whatever is not rejecting him. He is rejecting that which he may desire. We are about achieving success and obtaining our desired goals in life. Therefore, we must release the past in order to accept our divine good. We do this by having a mental acceptance of this good in our lives before we actually receive it in the natural. How does this work, you may ask? When I have a long unanswered prayer, a delayed healing, a delayed financial blessing, a dream that has not come true, remember that answered prayer, immediate healing, financial windfall, and realized dreams are not rejecting you in any form or fashion. You are rejecting them. How are you thinking? Think about it. Are you so attached to old patterns of living that you cannot get along comfortably without them? Are you emotionally attached to lack and illness? If you truly want prosperity, do you still gain satisfaction from self-pity over your financial problems? You must give up something to make way for prosperity. Probably self-pity and bitterness. Probably the belief that you have had a hard time. If you want healing, you must be willing to give up the emotional satisfaction, sympathy, and attention that you get from being sick. I heard a story about a woman who had been ill for some time. Then she began to be healed spiritually. Nonetheless, as she did, she no longer got the attention and sympathy that had accompanied her illness. People began to say, "How well you look." One day, unable to stand it any longer, when a friend made this statement, she retorted, "I am not as well as you think." As a result, herein, she went back to bed. It has been recorded, that Jesus sometimes asked those seeking healing, "Do you want to be healed?" Remember that in the Bible when Jesus asked a person if they wanted to be healed? And God can only do for you what he can first do through your mental attitudes. So it depends on how you feel about what you're asking for. Life depends much of the healthy person. Life demands much of the healthy person. He is expected to meet his share of life's responsibilities non-resistantly, even successfully. Physicians know that much that passes for illness is a subconscious attempt to escape life's responsibilities. And it serves us well, guys, that we learn, uh, dig deep and learn more about our subconscious, more so than, just our conscious. You're going to find out there's a lot of different things that's going to take shape in your lives, and it's going to seem like you will be having a whole different experience in life once you learn more about your subconscious. Remember, your good has not rejected you, but you may have rejected it by holding on to someone or something of the past or present. You may be holding on because of resentment, hate, unforgiveness, criticism, or emotional attachment. As was with the Hebrews of old, that which you complain about keeps you out of your promised land. That which you possessively hold on to keeps you out of your promised land. If you continue to hold on to it, you will never realize the greater health, wealth, and happiness that is your divine right. Begin today. Do it now, and dare to let go of and forgive the past. Stop saying that you have had a hard time in life. Stop talking about unhappy experiences. Stop trying to get sympathy. As long as you do this, you are still emotionally attached to that hard experience. You are continuing to feed it emotionally, and you are keeping it alive. There is no room in your thoughts and feelings for a better experience. If you're constantly thinking about what happened to you last year, 10 years ago, last week, yesterday, well, good thoughts can't replace that. You don't have any room for good feelings to come in. So we have to work on, our emotions. And this all entails in upgrading our life, changing how we feel and see things and how we see life. It's not like how we saw it 10, 15, 20 years ago. When we have reached the point where we take only the good in each experience and let the rest go, how swift and joyous will be our progress toward the realization of a happy, harmonious life. Begin right now to say to yourself, I take only the good from each experience, past and present. I let the rest go. I see only the positive and use it to and for my greater good. See the end. Believe your goal is accomplished. Know that you deserve to have your desire and think of your life as you want it to be. Herein, this is the next and very important point of the process, being to think about your life. I'm sorry. Let me start over. It says, herein, this is the next and very important point of the process. Begin to think about your life as you desire it to be. The way to mentally accept your promised land is simply to change your point of view. I'm going to read that again because that's an important point. It says the way to mentally accept the things that we want, our promises, our desires, the things that God has already set aside for us. It says that we simply have to change the way we think about things. Recognize another set of circumstances or events as possible, then dwell upon that possibility. But doesn't God say there's nothing impossible? It is interesting to observe how Caleb, one of the 12 spies, recognized another set of circumstances as possible when he urged, "Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." That's taken from the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verses 30. It is clear, as we see here, Joshua and Caleb recognized another set of circumstances as possible when they said to the complainers, "The land which we pass through is exceedingly good land. If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey." Numbers 14, verse 7 through 8. Well, now, it is important to note that Joshua and Caleb did not claim they could take the promised land alone. Please note, however, they claimed with God's help. So we know that we always must keep God first in our plans. We can take a closer look and see right there in the wilderness, Joshua refused to be hypnotized by some of the appearances of the promised land, such as walled cities and hostile forces. Instead, he dared to realize that another set of events and circumstances was possible in spite of appearances. He then began to decree them, claiming God's help in making them possible. He used the law of mental acceptance. In remembering a young man who grew up in the projects, the son of a poor maid who began to study truth, it was his belief that he had no training and very little ability to amount to very much. This young man had no confidence in himself and no conscious awareness of his environment. He always said, "I never had a chance. Life has been hard on me. I'm just a poor nobody." The study of truth began to cause a change in his thought process. His belief systems and his mental acceptance was expanded. He learned that he was a spiritual being, a somebody, entitled to all the opportunities, privileges, and blessings that his loving Father had for him. Look at what a change of thinking can do for you. Instead of making further excuses for his failure in life, he started affirming, "Lord, I am ready." Then he began to accept mentally his promised land by recognizing another set of circumstances was possible by asking God's help in manifesting them. Life is full of great, big, wonderful surprises. He was given a full scholarship to a prestigious university where he became a full-time student, graduating with honors and well on the way to a happy, prosperous life. However, this did not happen until he stopped talking about his hard life and bemoaning his life in lack of opportunity. Note the mental change caused the outer expression, which affected his overall better living conditions. So, guys, this should kind of shed a little light on mental acceptance. So I'd like to thank you all for listening to the reading today, and not only listen, but we have to take things into action. by reinventing our lives. And you know, change is good. So never be afraid to upgrade your life. Personal development is always a benefit to keep moving forward. It's by divine arrangement that we receive what we desire. So I'd like to thank you guys for listening this evening. And I want you to know that I love you all. And namaste.